Hello everybody, John here, and today onto the garage. We are just dressing up what I welded last time and moving on to the next step. Hi all! So yeah, welding got completed in the last video. Right round here, got reinforcing pieces in. As I constantly repeat, I'm not a welder, so please don't judge the pretty. And in this area, it isn't even worth me grinding. So yeah, it's effective, high penetration welding, but I can grind neat. I can't weld neat. So you've got welds in all the right places, all the way around. And then the weird blackened finish you can see is because I put some Hydrate 80 on it, Biltamba product. If there was any rust there, it would chemically react with it. If any rust tries to come up, it'll chemically react with it. But it's a great undercoat to put under other things because it is so protective. So this is very close to as good as you can get rust treatment at home. The grey primer paint that you could see everywhere is pure zinc weld through primer. And then Biltamba on top. And what I'm going to do now, because I've got quite a rough finish because of my welding, and though I've filled every pinhole I found, you never know if you've left a small hole or there's just a re-entrant feature on the weld that's going to harbour rust in the future. I'm going to put some seam sealer across this, which is like, think of it like your silicone sealants to work with, a bit tougher than that. It sets to a reasonably firm, rubbery type finish, smooths things off, it's very waterproof and stops corrosion starting. So Hydrate 80, that was the stuff that went on. And I'm going to use Dynax Seam, which is another Biltamba product. This is what your seam sealer looks like. There is no way of doing this neatly. You know, this is, if you put the brush in, look, it's tougher than the bristles on the brush. So this is a daub-on substance. You could use a lolly stick to apply it, genuinely. That's a recognised way of putting seam sealer on. I might have to resort to something a bit stiffer than this brush in a minute. The brush is sacrificial as well. You ain't cleaning this up properly. But yeah, I'm just going to work it into the surface best as I can. And it will fill all the cragginess up and prevent water from sitting in it and trying to promote rust in future. And you can overpaint this. Now, because of what this piece is and where it is, and the fact that most of it can be covered with either wheel arch liner or the, what do you call it, under tray. Nobody's really ever going to see this. But for the fun of it, and for my own satisfaction, I probably will spray some paint across it. I don't think I'm going to go to the trouble or the expense of getting some Jaguar matched platinum silver. I'll get some silver and that'll be great. Because for instance, in the areas in this wheel arch, it is all painted silver, but it's not all necessarily lacquered, so it doesn't look the same anyway. Just realised I've got a bit close to one of them threaded holes, and I think it's the threaded hole that holds the washer bottle on, so just going to run a bolt in there to ensure but I'm able to reattach the wash bottle without any issues. There we go. Before this all gets covered up, probably after I've painted it as well, I will use some of these holes to inject some cavity wax into the unit. Again, just make sure it's 100% future proofed. Okay, you join me a good 12 hours later. Seam sealer is set, as much as seam sealer sets. Just putting a bolt in one of the threaded holes. That one's already covered up. And I've just got some wheel and wheel trim paint, silver, just silver paint. And I'm just going to give that a dusting over to tidy it up, make it look a little bit more uniform, and make me feel good. Well, that's all it needs. A little dusting over. That's it, it just looks a lot better. Looks like one piece. Okay, so with all this now complete, looking quite nice. Just going to use a little bit of Dynax S50 Extreme Duty Anti-Corrosive Wax. Again, built amber, not sponsored, just got plenty of their products because I like them. And this aerosol comes with a lance. If I show you the tip there, you can see it's got slots around it, and it sprays a 360-degree fan, so nothing comes out the end, it comes out in a fan around the nozzle. So you just put that on top of your aerosol can. And the beauty of these things is obviously you can feed this into any cavities, into, for instance, this hole here, and feed it all the way along. And the best technique is start spraying with it there. As you slowly withdraw it, you could push, but you just cover the nozzle in wax, whereas if you pull it out, everything stays relatively clean and manageable. So yeah, I'm just going to inject a little bit of wax. Look at the length, that's good. That's that. Should have reached past this point, but can't hurt. There we go. All the cavities were sprayed best as I could with zinc paint before they were sealed up anyway. And that's about the size of it. This is now ready to start being reassembled. It'll probably kick off with me making the brake pipes up. I think that's the next challenge. I've got to make up the brackets to join these bolts underneath here to the front subframe mounting bolts. I can see they go brackets that go from here to here, and that will mean that if you're towing the car on the towing eye, these are the bolts that are attached to the towing eye. You're actually pulling the front subframe along with you. So they're kind of the reason that they're there. This isn't being held up or in position particularly by those brackets. So I'm recording this probably a week after my channel was hijacked, and I still not got it back. As I said, nothing will stop me carrying on. This is my hobby. But it's not looking very promising at the moment. I may have to start a new channel. So I'm putting this out via a bit of Facebook. Friends are obviously going to share for me and just keep you up to date with what's going on. I'm not doing an awful lot on the car right at the moment because, if I'm honest, I'm lacking a little bit of motivation. I am only human, but you know, I will be back. I enjoy doing this. So if there were 2 subscribers, I'd still be putting something out there. But I'll keep everybody informed as best as I can. Thanks to everybody who's been sending their thoughts, wishes and questions after the attack on the channel. I want to just give one special mention to Graham Walker, who I have called now. Sorry, Graham. Graham was the first person to alert me to the fact that the channel had been hacked. I was aware at the time that something was going wrong, but you know, within minutes of it happening, he was on the phone to me and letting me know what was going on. So thanks very much, Graham, and I will buy you a shandy at some stage in the future. Because this is a little bit shorter video than usual, I thought I'd share a few developments. Sorry about the noise. It's that time of year when everybody's getting a mower out, and next door's got a tractor towing a mower, so it's quite noisy. So got Sapphire and Purdy out down this side of the house, and got the nose cone, wheel arches, number plate, etc. from Steel hiding down there. We've got wheels for steel over there. I'm still looking for somebody who wants to take on sapphire as a project. So you can look back on my videos. I was going to say you can look back on my videos to see what sapphire looks like underneath. Unfortunately, that is no longer true. But the executive summary is lack of peel, bad lack of peel on the horizontal surfaces. Some sort of crazing on the wing mirrors and in localized spots like here. Overall bodywork is not too bad. A little bit of crustiness on the bottoms of the front wheel arches where you'd expect on the return. The bad bit on this car is here. Now I'm not sure how well that shows up, but obviously you see the blister there, probably extends to there. There's all manner of sun related damage. This car has spent a good deal of time in the Channel Islands. Does have broken rear bumper mount. Looks good underneath. I'm not going to say perfect, it's a British car, but it looks good underneath. The sills look good. It runs nicely, allegedly has had a rebuilt gearbox. And at the moment, until April the something, that has got an MOT. But if you want it, I don't know how it passed an MOT with a reflector like that on its headlight. And though the tyres have plenty of tread, they are cracked and, in my opinion, too dangerous to drive on. So it needs somebody prepared to trailer it away. Seats need a bit of restoration work, but I have seen worse. The headliner is missing, but the good news is it's got a fiberglass headliner shell, so it realistically just needs trimming. And the parcel shelf is also untrimmed. But as I say, it's a project car. Best offer. Who says that they're going to try and put that on the road? And I believe them. He's got himself a running driving XK8. Steel's got a way to go before I can try and get MOT on him. Bo the motorhome is near perfect as always. Over here I've extended the turning point on my driveway by taking down a fence in front of this caravan. No, nobody stays in the caravan. It used to be friends and family when they were visiting us, but it's sort of gone downhill over the years. It needs decorating, so the caravan will be moving on at some point. But yeah, and this garden furniture I'm thinking of relocating over here, probably in this corner. So, you know, a lot going on just at the moment. I think the garden furniture is going to end up on some sort of patio decking over there. Got a lot of re-fencing to do after having a couple of trees taken down. Whew. There's a lot to do. Anyway, I will be back and I'll see you all soon on possibly To the Garage, possibly something that sounds a bit like To the Garage. See you all soon, folks. Bye.